Hello, welcome to Take Two Tuesday. How is everybody doing today? I hope you are your day is off to a wonderful start. It is going good here, and let me fix my camera just a little bit. Going good here in Laguna Hills in Southern California. It has been super hot. I guess we're catching up to you guys now. We're starting to get our summer. The last couple of days here at the office, it's been around 100. So I'm going to probably start dripping sweat here pretty soon. That's my guess. So hang in there, bear with me. This office area, we don't have air conditioning. Well, we have air conditioning in here, but if we turn on the air conditioning here, it's going to try to heat the whole or air condition the whole building. And that's not really necessary. So I'm going to try to tough it out here for a little bit. How is everybody doing? Let me see if I can find our chat here. Welcome. If you are new to the Stamps of Life, my name is Ken. I am one of the owners here, along with my wife, Stephanie. I kind of do the behind the scene stuff here at the Stamps of Life, the warehouse, and some website things, and some of the video things, editing, stuff like that. And Stephanie, my wife, she is our designer, and she does all the fun stuff, and she's really the face of our company. And I know you guys all love her. So speaking of Stephanie, if you didn't hear, Stephanie is going to be on, give me 1 second here, my brand. Okay, that's good, that's good, that's good. Seeing if I remember how to use all these things since I haven't used them for a week. There we go. There's my name. Stephanie's going to be on HSN next week. So that is going to be exciting. I know she announced that yesterday on No Makeup Monday. If you didn't hear about that, Stephanie's going to be live on air next Tuesday. And I think this coming, let me see if I can find that. Add that on there. I think she has a morning slot and also an evening slot for you East Coast people. And then the West Coast time will be a little bit different. But anyhow, that's something to look forward to. So save the date. That is next Wednesday or next Tuesday. What is today? The 10th. So that would be the 17th. You're going to want to tune in. Stephanie will be live on there. She'll be presenting some items that are brand new. So this is not something that you can get on the Stamps of Life website. There are no plans to add these items to the website at this time. I think they're exclusive to HSN. So if you want to get them, you'll want to tune in and support Stephanie. And yeah, there'll be a fun time there. We're looking forward to being back on HSN. We haven't been on there for like 5 years. So it is exciting to get a chance to go back. So that is the big news for that. Let's see, what else? If you haven't been on our website lately, we have brand new items. Let me show you those items. We added some items just a couple of days ago here on the 7th. And I'll show you those real quick. Maybe. To our website, we had some recent additions. If you missed out, I think they were added on Saturday, Friday night, Saturday. Whoops, not that one. Let's see. There we go. So there's the website. We added these new items, the owl and the pumpkin owl, and that's been a real popular one. I think people are excited about that. Happy fall. And then the leaf border is really nice. And so those 3 items are all kind of fall-oriented, Halloween-oriented. If you haven't seen those are on the website. Let me check how our chat is going, our comments. Who sees? Hi, Andy and Catherine and Aria and Jane, Jeffrey, hi. Shelby, Michelle, Don, welcome to all of you. Happy to have you here with me. Hang out for a bit. Let's see if that will work. Yeah, there I am. So that is on the website. I wanted to mention also that these just came back in stock. If I can get this to move here a little bit. Let me show you this item if you haven't seen. The pumpkin fold, it is back in stock. And it's the season right now for pumpkin items. So I do have those on the website. They're available again. We sold out after Stephanie had done a demo about 2 or 3 weeks ago. They sold out, but they are back on the website just in time. You can see there's a bunch of great ideas down there using this pumpkin fold. You'll really like it just because it's the season and it's called Fancy. You can use it with the inside dies with the Fancy, or I believe without. I think all these samples have it with. But yeah, I think you can use the panels just as plain too. So that is a fun one and just in time for Halloween, fall, Thanksgiving, all that kind of fun stuff. So that's on the website. I wanted to mention that to you. And then this is our this is our last couple days for our, let me switch back to me, our card kit. I wanted you to know we just have this for a few more days. It's called Thankful For You card kit. I think there's about 8 kits still left. So if you have been thinking about joining, you have just a couple days left to join the card kit club, all right? It comes with all kinds of fun embellishments and all that good stuff. But the main awesome thing is you get this nice A1 Flip It card. That is included in the Fold-it or in the card kit. That's pretty awesome, right? So with the embellishments, the pattern paper pad, cardstock, all you have to do is open your box and start creating. So that's fun. We're just going to have this one for a few more days because, why would that be? Because on Sunday, our brand new kit is going to be debuted. The September kit's going to come out. And it'll be connected kind of to our September Gingerbread Fun stamps and dies. So those will all kind of coordinate together. If you are already in the club, that is something great for you to look forward to. That is going to be on Sunday. The video for that will be on the website. Stephanie will debut it, make a card. You'll get to see all that fun stuff. Hey, some of my lights just went out. I have these little Christmas lights in here to kind of give me some extra light, and some of them just conked out. So let's see. Trying to fix my banner here real quick. I still have not quite got this down. Let's see, brand. We're gonna turn those off. So you know my name is Ken. I'm here at the Stamps of Life. Oh, and with the card kit, we'll ship it on Monday. So it will ship on Monday the 16th, I think that is, right? So we got a big week coming up. Card kit on Monday. Banners, we want to get rid of this one. Let's see. Oh no, that was wrong. Wrong. We can't hide that one. There we go. Sorry about that. So we'll be shipping the card kits on Monday. Stephanie will be on HSN on Tuesday. The website will have new items on it on Sunday. Lots going on, right? So here, again, if you are new to the Stamps of Life, my name's Ken. We do Take Two Tuesday every Tuesday each week, and we take a look at some items from the Stamps of Life from the past. These items I have today are from November of 2020 and also January of 2021. Now, some of you have been with the Stamps of Life for several years, so it's likely that you have these items. And then this is a reminder video for you to break out those old stamps and dies. And they're not really old. You probably just haven't used them for a long time, so they have maybe gathered a little dust on them. So it's time to dust them off, dig them out, and put them to use. And if you are a newer friend of the Stamps Life customer, these items might seem brand new to you. So we review these items, a little reminder, refresher. And again, for those of you that are new, it's a chance to see something that almost seems like it's brand new because you weren't around here 3 or 4 years when we first brought these out. So let's get to it. We will take a look at a collection of stamps and dies called Window2stamp, and then we'll also look at a 5x7 Bubblegum Machine Fold-it. So that's what we have in store. And then at the end, if you have your Bible, you want to get your Bible out, or your Bible app, or maybe an app on a phone, we'll be in Matthew chapter 5. We'll do a little devotional. We'll go through Matthew 5, just skim through it real quick, kind of give a brief overview of it, and then we'll have a little focused devotional right at the end. That'll be at the end of the video, all right? So let's, without further ado, let's get going, all right? Our first collection, Window2stamp from November of 2020. I have a ton of samples for these, and there are a lot of great add-ons, and I will show you the samples, and we'll take a look at this on the website. I do have a question for you that we'll get to. Now, again, if you are able to watch this live, you can hop in the chat, right? And you can answer all these questions. And if you are watching this at a later time, down below this video, you can add your answers to the questions. You can do comments. If you have a prayer request, if you just have a question, you can add that in the comment section below. We always watch for the comments. A lot of times you'll see we'll thumbs up them. Some of them we answer, the ones we can. And it's always nice to hear from all of you. So if you're watching this, the tape version or a replay, you can still jump in on the chat, all right? Don't miss out on that. All right, here we go. This is called Window2stamp. See if this will focus. There we go. This is from, again, Stamps of Life, November 20th, 20. There is the club set dies that came out with this. If you're in the Die Hard Club, you got both of these together. And then there are add-ons. We have this is called Window Extra dies, and then also some fun sayings that go with it, all right? So let's take a look at this on the website. Well, fine, I have some notes about Windows here. Now, remember when we kind of review these projects, we kind of have a little bit of fun and we chat a little bit. Well, I can't really chat with you guys because I'm trying to talk the whole time, but on the chat, you get to post answers and questions for you to think about. So we're going to do that. Whoops. Switch over here and you can find me. And it is getting toasty in here, so again, bear with me. I've got a fan on out there, but it's not helping me much, right? I'm kind of on my own here. Let's see. Okay, so I have the Window2stamp, and you will see the fun ideas here. Really great. This is kind of like one of those year-round collections that you can use just about anytime you like. You'll find many, many different ways to use it. Make sure I'm kind of centered there. And yeah, so this is a fun one. You can see a summer theme, a spring theme, definitely with winter. You could make it a wintry window. Fall coming up, you could add some pumpkins or Halloween candy type stuff to your windows. You can do all kinds of fun stuff with this one. So it is really great. And you get 15 stamps in this collection, it says. Remember, our stamps are made in the USA, so they're going to be really nice, high quality. You're going to get great impressions out of these, and it comes with some fun sentiments. Welcome, and then home. So like welcome home, you could do that. Hello there, be happy, keep dreaming, miss you. There's a little kitty cat and flowers and all that fun stuff on there. Then you can see down below, you have the add-ons, the Window2stamp dies that coordinates with this set, and the extras there. So that is all there on that page. My interesting facts about Windows. Let's see. Here we go. I will read these off to you. You don't want to look at all that text, I don't think. But anyhow, okay, Windows. 15 interesting facts you didn't know about Windows. I didn't even know that there was 15 things we couldn't know about Windows, but here's some fun things. We won't read all 15, but before glass windows were common, when it says became the normal, windows were commonly made out of paper, cloth, animal hide, yuck, flattened pieces of animal horn, and thin slices of marble. So that's going way back in time. I've never seen anybody with a window made out of any of these items, but that's how they did it. It says the first glass windows were made in about 100 AD. So that's almost 2,000 years ago. But it says they were so thick, you couldn't really even see through it. And it took almost 1,000 years after that. So we were looking around at the year 1100 or something like that before they actually had windows that you could see through. It'd be nice to be able to see through your window, right? And we have all these luxuries that we don't even realize that we live with. Just to have a window to be able to see outside your house or to see what's going on out in your yard, or it's like a real luxury and we don't even realize it. It says in the late 1600s, glass windows were considered a luxury. See, even the wealthiest only had windows in their most important rooms. It says they were so valued, like when people would, maybe they had a summer home and a winter home. This is for the high rollers, the rich people. They would take their windows down and store them away while they were away from their home. They were so valuable, they didn't want them to get stolen. Wow, is that crazy? And then glass windows became more common in the 17th century. So that's like the 1600s. The average home has, how many windows do you think? 8 windows. So if you have 8, you're right on the average. If you have more than that, I think we have more. We have lots of little windows at our house. You are above average. If you have below 8, you are below average. And then guess how many the White House has? How many windows do you think the White House has? I'll give you a hint. It's more than 100. Is anybody going to guess? I'll give you a minute here to guess. How many windows do you think they have at the White House? Without Googling it or cheating, no cheating. How many do you think they have at the White House? Well, they have a lot more than you think. Looks like Tinker Jen said 269, a little bit high. And Andy, you're getting close. And Shelly, you're getting really close. Bonnie, you're almost right on. It says they have 147 windows at the White House. Wow. Whew. And if you go to Buckingham Palace, that would be England. Like if you're hanging out with the King and Queen of England or one of the princes or princess there, they have a whopping 760 windows. That's a lot, right? Maybe you've heard of the Winchester House in San Jose, California. It's kind of like this creepy house. 13 windows. Doesn't that make sense? Is there 13 rooms and 13 windows? Well, I see the numbers denoted through the house, including many rooms housing. Many of the rooms have 13 windows. Wow, so there's a lot more than that. The Empire State Building, that's super high, 102 stories high, 6,500 windows. My question for you, when I think of windows, I, of course, think of the kind in the house, but I think of stained glass windows. And you'll see those like in church or in decorative places. Are you a fan of stained glass windows? That is my question for you today. Are you a fan of stained glass windows? And I'll show you some of these designs. And now, you know what? I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I am not a big fan of stained glass windows. But you can see these ones here. They are really awesome. Now, I don't know how you make stained glass windows. I'm sure that would make it very interesting if you were actually like an artist who designed with these. So here's all these totally awesome stained glass window ideas. Do you like stained glass windows? My question for you. They're not my thing, but I think because like when I was a kid, I think there was a house I lived in that had like some old stained glass windows that didn't look really nice. You couldn't see out the front door. They were kind of like a cream color or orangish or something weird. And they look dated and faded. So I kind of got in the back of my mind that I didn't really care for stained glass windows. There's no wrong answer. If you like them, great. If you don't, you're with me. But I know at our church, we have this church building. It's about 40 years old, I would guess. There was another church there prior to us. And there are stained glass windows kind of up high. So you don't really see them when you're on the inside of the church, not in the main sanctuary area, but kind of when you're in the lobby walking, you can see them up there out high out of the way. And they do look dated. They're not fancy like any of these ones here that you see. But there are some beautiful ones. I guess everybody has a different opinion of them, but if you're into art and you want to do something artsy, maybe you want to learn how to make a stained glass window. I don't know anything about it, but I'm sure you can Google it or find it on YouTube, right? Okay, so let's move on. We're going to head over to our table here. I will go, let's look at our samples first. And I do have those. I got a bunch of samples that I found here at the warehouse. So check this out. We're going to go ahead and look through these. And we'll have some fun here. It's always great to see the samples. I have a lot more samples than we had room for on the website, so I think you guys will like these. Okay, here we go. I will move through these. Again, that is a center step up. I'll double check on that, but let me see. Yep. Center step up. That's an A2 card, but isn't it beautiful? Lots of pretty colors. So there's kind of like a spring themed. This could be any time of the year. Again, A2, and it's got the little extra panels on there, the drapes and the shutters. So the shutters come in the add-on set. Here is, if you want something kind of looking Christmassy, that is a Christmas-themed window. So you can see that it is very versatile and can be used many different times. So the designer, just so you know how it is, this is an opening up card here, kind of like a gatefold. And they use a little bit of Velcro there to hold that together. So to give you an idea how that can work, welcome home. Nice, right? I'll say the slim line towards the end. Here's a nice kind of just all year round or spring themed card. And a hello. And they've used a little of our acetate to actually make a window looking there, kind of like a glass, huh? That's nice. Here, this is, I think, a 5x7 version. And you can see they've added a little extra space there to add in those shutters and the curtains. That looks pretty. And here we have a summer theme. This is good for now. Surf is up, right? It says be happy. I like how the artist, our designer, worked with the shutters on the side there. I said enjoy life on the inside. And we're back to Christmas. And again, we've added a little scene on the inside, a little snowman, or that actually looking out your window. Isn't that a good idea? That's fun. You got your Christmas tree inside the house, cat in the window, and snowman outside. It says, when God shuts a door, he opens a window. So here's a fun little one, kind of an encouraging one there. And one more. And this one also looks kind of Christmas themed. And I think this is looking from outside the house into the house. You've got your Christmas tree and your little puppy dog in there, along with some acetate. So those are some great ideas. I hope you guys like those. I could not ever come up with a card that looked like any of those. Those cards are all beyond my grade level, right, of card making. But I'm going to show you how we can stamp and die with these real quick. Let's move over to our workstation. I will get my camera switched over there. And let's head on over. I'll meet you there. All right, looks like I fixed it so I don't have to switch audio anymore. So if I just make sure the camera's on, we get to be right where we want to be and don't have to worry about the audio side. So that's nice. So here we are. Let's go ahead and stamp this real quick. Now, this is a larger stamp, the window frame. And I want to show you how we can stamp that. And we'll add a couple of the little curtains to this one. So we're just going to ink that up, get a lot of ink on here. We'll keep that off our paper, hopefully keep our paper nice. Now, when you have these big stamps like this, you really got to make sure you get a lot of ink on there and you're trying to avoid bubbles and all that kind of stuff. Let me hold this up so you can see a little bit better. So you really got to, this is a larger stamp. And I can already see I have some spots where there's a lot more ink and a lot less ink. So we want to try to even that out. So hopefully our impression will come out nice and even as possible. So I do know when you get the more solid stamps like this, they take a little bit of extra work, a little extra time to, again, make sure you have enough ink on them. And this would be one of those times where I would definitely plan on stamping a couple times on some scratch paper, getting used to the stamp. And I did try to stamp this one yesterday, and my results started off fair, and each time they did get a little bit better. But you really got to make sure you have a lot of ink on here, and you're hoping to avoid that bubbly look, right? I will try my best. I'm not sure how this will turn out for me. We'll add that to our paper, and main thing is really push down on all the different spots of the stamp to get that inked as possible. And that did come out pretty good. You can see there are some spots that I still need to figure out how to fill that in, but that'll give us a general idea of the stamp there. And then we want to go ahead and let's cut out a couple curtains for this. And this is Window2stamp from November, I think I said, of November of 2020. So just about 4 years old. This is on the Stamps of Life website, and you see we have dies that work with this. This is the add-on die set. We're going to cut those curtains out right there. And I did die cut with these yesterday. It was pretty easy. So there's my two dies. And just to give you an idea of what we're doing, we'll have our stamp there, and then we'll be adding the curtains real quickly. See how easy that's going to be? Let's see what we can do. I'm going to use some pattern paper just to make it easy. Then I don't have to stamp the curtains or anything like that. I have my ink pad here. Let's go ahead and cover that back up. And I need to find some pattern paper. This will be a good one. Let's try this. So it's got some flowers on there that will look nice for our curtains. If you're new to die cutting, when you have your machine, you need a die cutting machine like this. This is the Spellbinders. This is the 8.5 inch. So it will work with all the dies here at the Stamps of Life. There's also a smaller version. I think it's 6.5 inches. And so that just makes the width a little bit smaller. It will do most of the dies. Every once in a while, there's a large card base or something like that where you specifically need this larger item. Then you're going to add with the platform. You're kind of making a sandwich here. You have a platform, then one of your cutting pads, and you're going to put your cardstock down. This is kind of bowing, so it's time for me to flip it over. So I'm going to flip that over, and I'm going to add that. And if I wanted to, I could washi tape these down, but we're not looking to be perfect on these here, but this should be good enough. So then we add our cardstock, which here is pattern paper, then our dies, and then one more plate on top. Try to make sure we have that lined up. That'll keep us from getting the squeaky noises. And I have my dies at just a little bit of an angle, and hoping to avoid those speed bumps that every once in a while cause a problem. Most of the time not, but you have your dies at just a slight angle, so they're not straight with the machine, but just at a slight angle. It does improve your results, especially on the more intricate dies or like the card bases where you need a nice straight cut, and you also need to have it score really good. So there we are. We've got our curtains, right? Let's go ahead and add that to our window. I'll move my machine out of the way here. And put our plates over here for when we come back. And we're going to get some adhesive on here. I'll just run that right on my table. That one's out. Let's add our adhesive. So now with the pattern paper, here you have two different options. I wanted the patterns, but the flip side of that sheet had these nice colors. So if you like those colors, you could just use those, which is this side, but I'm using the flowers from this side. And then we're just going to take this and center that up for you a little bit. And we're just going to add that right on there. So it might be a nice, bright, sunny day where you are, and so you could have sun outside your window. You have your curtains. Of course, it comes with the little kitty and the flowers and all that kind of extra stuff. You could add that in there, but real easy to get that. And we do have dies that can cut this out. This die set, if you don't want to stamp, you could just use the dies, and then it has all these little extra dies. This die set would also cut out exactly what we had just stamped. All right, so you have a lot of different options there. That is the Windows2stamp collection. All right, with the 2 stamps, 2 dies. This one is the add-on set. This is the main set that coordinates with the club set, and then we have the sentiments that work with that too, right? So that is great. All right, I hope you like those. And they are super easy to work with, and you have the card samples on our website, and also Stephanie has a video on there where she shows you some ideas, all kinds of good stuff there. All right, my goal is, I think I've said all right twice today, so I'm trying to cut that out. You guys can keep a count on me. All right, see, 3 times. I need, every time I say that, I need to have like a buzzer go off or something. That would be great. That would train me really quick. Okay, next up is, this collection, Shelly, was from, the Windows2stamp was from November of 2020. And add our next item here. We are going to now look at the, where did it go? I know I added that. Give me 1 second. Let me find this. One of my, there it is. Did not load. My fault. Okay, this is the Bubblegum Machine. It is a 5x7 folded die set. This is a little bit larger card die base, okay? And it will create a 5x7 card. And this was released in, this was the one that was from January of 2021. 2021. I thought maybe this went on HSN before, but now that I'm thinking about it, maybe not. So I think this is only available on the Stamps of Life website. And Bubblegum is awesome. I don't know if you guys are, I'll show you some fun stuff here after we look at all the information about this item. So on the website, you will find the, there we go. This collection, it is 14 different dies. A lot of it is shadows with the gumball, right? So you can get lots of different colors in there. And you don't have to keep running it through one gumball at a time. Whoops, let me turn that on. So there's a whole bunch of gumballs in there. You'll be able to just, run them through once or twice and get as many gumballs as you want in your machine there. If that comes back, great. So on the website, you'll have some fun ideas here. And I think I have a question for you guys before we move on too much. Oh, I'll wait till I show you the picture, because Bubblegum, of course, will strike up lots of memories for all of us, huh? Different types of bubblegum, juicy fruit, or Bubblicious, or Bubble Yum, or Bazooka. I'll show you that stuff in a second. Okay, so here on the website, go through, you look at these fun ideas. That card will make you smile and be happy, right? All those happy faces looking at you. I think that is a great idea. We all need some reasons to smile. What is that? You are officially awesome. Got it. So that is a cool one. And you can see how you can get all the different colors and looks, because the dies will give you all the different cuts here. So you can mix and match colors, and it's really awesome. I like this one. I was kind of thinking how could I make it kind of Halloween themed? I'll see what I can come up with here in a minute. Lots of great ideas. There will be a video from the crafting corner. Stephanie will demo that one for you in that video. So that's a really nice set. Again, 14 dies. We do have some other kind of bubblegum related items. We won't look at these today, but there is a stamp set. These are smaller size, more like that you would put on the front of, say, an A2 card. There is a die set that works here, a background set. these were super popular. You see, they'll be retiring soon, but items from the past. These are probably 10 years old, these ones here. But this set is from about 4 years ago. And let's see. Okay, gumball machines. Let's see what I have here. Do any of you recall gumball machines like this? Do any of you have one of these in your house? We have one here. I should have brought it right around the corner. Here in the office, we have a gumball machine. Now, it's been filled with gumballs for a long, long time. I wouldn't recommend if you come to our store that you eat any of those gumballs, but we do have a machine. So maybe these spark some memories for some of you. Gumballs are always fun when I was a kid. Speaking of coming to the store, if you didn't know, the Stamps of Life, we are going to have our 15th year anniversary celebration here in Laguna Hills, California on October 12th. That's a Saturday. And we're going to have fun. We're going to have a nice lunch. Stephanie's going to do some demoing. Let me switch over. She's going to demo. We'll have some swag bags. You got to get a ticket for that, okay? Because we need to know how many people are going to come to make sure we have enough food. So if you're planning on coming, I don't know what the cutoff date is, but we need to be able to plan ahead. Get your tickets on the website. They're $10. And in return, you will get a $10 coupon to use at the Stamps of Life store that day. The coupons are only good at the store. If you can't make it, we can't use it on the website. There's no refunds, anything like that. I know things happen, but again, we're just trying to make sure we have enough food for everybody. So that's why we have the $10 $10 ticket to enter. But you get it back when you shop. And I'm sure you'll find something for $10, and you're going to get all the fun stuff and everything. So that'll be great. So back to our gumballs. This is our gum. Did you have I'll show you this. I went to Google Images. If you ever want to find photos of like nostalgic things or things that will spark a memory for you or just for fun, strike up memories, go to the Google Images page and just type in whatever you're looking for. So I did that, and then I typed in bubblegum brands, and this was what it came up for me. So my question for you would be, do you have a favorite bubblegum? Maybe one of these that you see here on that I'm going to scroll through is one of your favorites. Do you have a special bubblegum? Maybe you still eat gum right now. I still like to eat gum. I don't very often, but when I was like high school or just out of high school, I ate gum a lot. And I remember like Juicy Fruit was awesome. That was one of my favorite, Juicy Fruit. I ate a lot of this Double Bubble. What is your favorite gum? I remember like Bubble Yum being awesome. What was the one that had the liquid inside of it? Does anybody remember that one? There was a gum that you would chew it and it'd have like liquid on the inside. Not Bubblicious, I don't think, but it had like some gel stuff and it's kind of weird, but I like that. So look at all these different types of gum. Do any of these spark a favorite that you remember? Bazooka used to come in, I don't know if it was really the official Bazooka, but my dad used to buy me baseball cards, and he'd buy the full box. And when you open the baseball cards, there'd be a stick of gum in there. And I remember chewing that gum lots and lots and lots. And so there'd be like 36 packs of the baseball cards in the box. I get a lot of gum out of that. So do you have any favorites from the past when it comes to gum? Do you have a favorite bubble gum that you enjoy right now? Nowadays, I'm might eat like some Trident or Dentine. I see an Orbit on there, stuff like that. But back in the day, it was like Juicy Fruit or the Spearmint, Double Wrigley's Spearmint. There's Trident, Bazooka. That's super popular. When we would go do shows, we would get that Double Bubble right there, that bag, and we would have a big bowl of it on our little checkout stand and have a little treat for everybody who came to our booth. So we had that around a lot. So lots of different ideas. Now we're going way back. I don't ever remember seeing that kind of wrapper. Oh, this one, I think one of the boys just had one of these where it's like a roll. Let me see if I can get that. A roll, and it just keeps rolling out, rolling out. He had I think it was Liam. He had a big old mouthful of that gum. So anyway, a little trip back to the past. Maybe there is a gum that you like or enjoy. One of the things I don't like about gum is when people are naughty and they throw it on the ground and then you step in it. That is the worst, right? It always bothered me when people, it'd be like a hot day like this and somebody would throw their gum on the ground and you step in it and your foot's just like stuck. So bubble gum, awesome. I like gum. Do you have a favorite? I saw so many there that I like. I can't really pick a favorite nowadays, but back in the past. All right, let's look at our samples. Again, this is a 5x7 Fold-it. And we have some great ideas from the design team. Whoops. Oh, not that one. What was I doing? Number 2 is what I need. I'm getting my cameras mixed up here. See if I can fix that a little bit. Okay, here we go. There is a thanks card. Now here, usually I'm used to making the fold on the top of the card, but here's one that's on the side. So you have an option on the Fold-it for your fold to be on the side or the top, and the dies are going to cut out that card for you, right? That's great. And here is using another window type. They've added, our designer added in the gumballs in there. That is a cute one. And here's one made out of felt. You know, we have Stamps of Life, we have wool felt. And so you can make a wool felt one out of that. Pretty cool. And here's a nice basic one, but very good. I like it. Nice colors. And it's kind of like a shaker. Those will shake around on the inside. And here's that officially awesome one. I like that. Little guys in there. Here's our smile. We saw this one on the website. That one, again, it does make me kind of smile. Let me scoot back just to, oh, I forgot our slim line back there. I will show you that too. And this one is very colorful. Nice look. Have a bubblicious day. And here's some glitter and some foil. You can really sparkle up your gumball machine. That's a good idea. A couple more here. Sending you love. Just using solid papers on some of these, and great ideas. And here's a neat idea, kind of like a fish tank looking gumball machine, right? That came out really nice. And here is the one I forgot, that slim line back from our windows. I put that off to the side. And that was another good idea for the windows to stamp. Okay, let's move over. Whoops. Let's move over and see what we can make with this die set real quick here. Again, I'm kind of thinking like black and orange, or our colors would be licorice and tangerine. See what we can come up with, just to kind of give a little bit of a Halloween look to it. All right, so let's try that. Moving over to our workstation, and I'll meet you there. So again, this one did come up with a whole bunch of different dies in here. We just need the outside one, right? This will actually make the fold of the card. I'm just going to kind of come up with some ideas to make the front of the card. Let's see. Find my cardstock here. Clear some of this out of the way that we've already used. And I think I did set aside some colors. Yes, we do have a few things here. Great. Okay, there's our licorice, and we can use that for the base of the card. Now, remember with a Fold-it, you would typically fold your cardstock in half and you would run it through, create the base. So we're going to skip that step. We're just kind of making the card front right now. So we're going to work on that together. I'll just run it through, just regular. And we got to make sure that this is in between the plates to make it cut. And the dies are facing down. And again, here we want to do just a slight angle. It'd be probably fine without it, but just in case. All right, I'm going to move this stamp. Get us all the workspace we need here. Should go right there. Perfect. All right, we'll just run that on through. Easy. And there we kind of have our card front. So again, we're kind of thinking of Halloween colors, right? What else can we do with that? Let's go ahead and now we'll piece this together. We'll get the tangerine and we'll put that to the side. Oh, well, we might use that again in a bit here. And this die is the inside die. It will also give us all the different pieces that we want to use on the inside of our card. So let's give that a try. See what we can come up with here. So when it comes to paper piecing, I'm just kind of guessing how it's going to turn out, but I think we'll be able to put together some of the different die cuts that we create and have it all work out pretty nice. Let's give it a try. And this is from January of 2021. It's the Stamps of Life. It's the 5x7 Fold-it. It's called Bubblegum Machine. Now, I bet some of you have it. If you have it, this is a good reminder for you to use it. So here you get all these nice pieces. Let's go ahead and bring those out to the side, because we're not going to use all of those together. We're going to kind of mix and match. So I'll put these here. And then next, I'm going to, I have some glittery paper here to give our card a little bit different look. And we'll see what we can come up with this. I kind of want the top. Will that get both pieces? Well, I'm trying to save some of this paper, so I'm going to do this off the edge here. See if this will work. Then we'll run it back through the other way just to get the top. So using the glitter paper, you know, it'll just make our card stand out a little bit more. The orange and the tangerine and the licorice mix will be nice, but this glitter will give it just a little bit something extra. So we can see it's created all of those nice pieces. They're holding together really nice. We'll set that to the side, and then I'm going to run this through one more time, just because I want to be able to get that top right there. I want that top piece. And I didn't run that through on the first time. I could have used, if I would have wanted to, I could have used this whole piece, but why waste all that? There's no need to do that. So I'm just going to run it here and save a little bit of my cardstock for later. When it comes to the glittery or the foil colors of paper, I like to get a little bit of extra out of them. And this is one way to do that. All right. Got that. And that's going to cut out our top. Should come out of there, yep. So we have the top of our gumball machine. I can get all this out of the way. And I'm going to go ahead and move my machine off to the side here. See what we have. Here's all our pieces. And we can kind of put this together and get a little card going here. So say I just wanted to go ahead and add all this down here at the bottom. Let me make sure you can see that okay. Actually, I think I'm getting a little bit too far away from you guys, so I'm gonna keep it right here on top of the machine so you can see better. So I'm gonna just take a look here and see what we might be able to piece together. Did I do that right? I did. Great. And there's our piece for the top. So I'm just kind of giving this an eyeball to see how things will turn out here. Eyeball look, piecing things together before I glue it all together. So there I would have my Halloween theme. That looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and pop out a couple of these, and I think we can get some little bit of variety here. Yeah, I kind of like that better. Mix things up. And let's get some adhesive on here. That should work either way. We'll go ahead and add that right there. That will be our gumball section. And then we're going to, I shouldn't be doing this on my mat. Keep that together. I'm just piecing this together real quick so we don't spend too much time here. This will be our top. And I want to use all of this for the bottom. I have some scratch paper here. I can go ahead and add my adhesive here on the scratch paper. That should be really nice. And I would add that to my card. Looking good so far. All right, now I could, if I wanted to, I could add some orange in here if I want, but I kind of like the black here. I could add some silver for the handles if I wanted to. My one other idea was, rather than having gumballs maybe in there, I was going to take, this is the Happy Halloween Slimline. I was looking for a die set around here that had bats in it. This was the only one that I could find in it that we had. So I'm going to I just want this little section right here that has the bats. This is a slimline die, but I'm just going to use this portion and just to add a little bit of extra decoration to our card. Since we are looking Halloween themed, you could put, if you wanted to do like something glittery, orange gumballs or black gumballs. If you want it to be gumballs, just for fun, I'm putting the bats in there just to show you how we could do something different with this. I'll put this off to the side. And we'll just use some regular cardstock for our bats. Again, this is a slimline die normally, so it would make a slimline card, which is kind of like a business size envelope card, which is nice. You have a lot of extra space to work in, a little bit different. But here we just want to use these bats that are here. So we'll let this go off the side because we just want this section here. I don't think we'll use a black moon. No, we could. Let's run that through and see what we get with these little bats. It looks like the one thing, they might be a little bit small, but this was the only collection that I could find here at the store. I know we have a lot more stamp sets or die sets on the website. Whoops, it's not, I can hear that's going to crunch. That do have bats on them. But here at the store, this was the only one that I had found. So we got to figure out a way to make this one work. Let's give it a try. We don't have to run it all the way through. We just need to get those little bats out of there. That was some of our, let's see what these came out with. So here you can see they have all been die cut here on the inside. A couple of them are popping out already. So let's get our card over here. And what would have been smart for me to do ahead of time, I would have put adhesive on this, right? So when I peel these guys, these little bats out of here, they would be sticky already. I wouldn't have to add adhesive on it because you can see how tiny these guys are. See how little they are? That would be very difficult, right, to get adhesive on. So you would want to use the Stamps of Life adhesive sheets ahead of time. But here was my idea. I don't have adhesive on these yet. I was just going to take all these little bats and add them to my gumball machine. Again, this is a Halloween themed gumball machine. And we have, again, different sizes of these little bats on our website. I'm sure you may have some already. And so this is just an idea for you that you might like. Popped into my mind. I didn't see anything like this from our design team. Not saying that they couldn't come up with a better idea than me, but I thought this was kind of a good original one for me since it is kind of the season. So there you go. You have the gumball machine. We use some glitter. Again, we could decorate and add in. I see like I have some tangerine here. If I wanted to add some extra color in there, I could do that. I could just leave it open. I could add some silver handles, but it looks kind of fun in there, right? With the little bats on the inside. So you could space them all out. You could fill it up, make it look really nice. It would be a nice Halloween card. You would take this card front, put some adhesive on the back, and then you would attach it to the fold-it. Remember how we talked about you fold the cardstock? That gives you the real base. This would actually be the front of the card. And then you could add some sentiments on the inside. So that is our 5x7 gumball machine from the Stamps of Life with the Halloween theme. All right. See, different things you could do with that. Same thing. You could make it into a Christmas gumball machine or an Easter gumball machine or a Valentine or a birthday. There's probably so many different occasions that you could use this one. Just about everybody loves gumballs and everybody loves gumball machines, just about. So I think you might like that. So there you go. Let me switch back over here. I think we're making good time today, right? Okay, so I hope you like that idea. That is available on our website. Again, we'd like to remind you, if you have these items already, just get them out and use them. You might have a way better idea than me. Something that will be perfect for fall, or maybe you want to fill your, if you fill your gumball machine with little pumpkins, happy smiley pumpkins. I think that would be a fun idea. So different ways you can use things, right? And you know that at the Stamps of Life, a lot of our items mix and match, and we want you to have lots of fun with them and find lots of different ways to use them, right? That is really super important. It makes, to me, like one of the main reasons I like to do these videos is, again, we get to, show off some of our items, but I just want to remind you how valuable the things are that you already have. Some of the time we think that getting something, the next thing is going to, fulfill us, or if I had just this one die set or this stamp set, then I'd have everything I need. But sometimes we forget about the things we already have. And in this case, if you have this collection, the Window2stamp or the 5x7 Bubblegum machine, break it out and use it, see what you can create. This would be the 5x7 that we just looked at. This would be one of those items that you could really use and make a ton of cards. So if you need a fast card and you need to make a lot of them, this would be one that would work really well for that. Okay, if you have your Bible, we are in Matthew chapter 5. We're going to move on. I'll give you a little overview of this, and then we'll pick out a verse for our kind of devotional section. And again, we're in Matthew chapter 5. It is a great chapter if you are kind of a student of the Bible. Matthew chapter 5 starts what is known as the Sermon on the Mount, where Jesus is teaching. And it's one of the greatest teachings in the whole Bible as you go through. I think it's like 5 through 7. There's a lot of great and amazing things here. We're just going to cover just a couple, or one main verse and one little section. But if you were to read Matthew chapter 5 totally, there's probably like 100 different devotionals that we could do just from this section of the Bible. So there is a lot of wisdom, a lot of guidance, a lot of insight into how God sees things in an eternal perspective, where some of the time maybe we just see things, kind of in a more temporal situation. God sees things in beyond just this earth, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes we just get focused on what's here and right before us, which is good, got to pay attention to the things that are going around us. But sometimes we forget to think eternally and also into how God would have us to think, and to more think in line of God's kingdom, right? We want to be a part of that. So if you have Matthew chapter 5 open, I'll give you again the overview here, and then we'll go. Our main verse we're going to look at is verse 44. It's super powerful, and you might have heard it before. But as we start in chapter 5, Jesus, he's on this mountain. Again, this is called the Sermon on the Mount. He is seated, and his disciples are all standing probably around him. Back then, they did things a little bit different. Like when we go to church, usually everybody in the audience sits down, and the pastor or the teacher stands, right? But back in these times, usually it was opposite. Usually the teacher would sit, and the crowd would be around him and standing and listening. So think of that, picture that. Jesus is sitting on this mount. Could be hundreds of people, could be thousands of people listening. We don't know the exact number, but we know the disciples were all here. They're the ones who recorded this teaching. And so he goes on, he starts the Beatitudes, again, how we had just talked about how God sees things in an eternal heavenly perspective. You get these Beatitudes. It's kind of opposite living of what we think of here on earth. In God's kingdom, things are much different than they are here on earth. So while you think it just kind of says, blessed are you, like if you're poor in spirit, blessed are you when they persecute you. So these things that don't sound that appealing or that great here on earth, when we have to deal with them, God says these things are super valuable as far as when we think of eternity. So it's the Beatitudes are the teaching there. And it also reminds us to be meek, to be merciful, those kind of things, which is opposite of the world, right? Very different. And then it goes on to say that believers, followers of Jesus, were to be the salt and light of the earth. Salt gives flavor, and back then it was used as a preservative. So they would have meat, and they don't have refrigerators or anything like us, so they would use the meat or the salt to kind of cure the meat and keep it from spoiling. So salt would be used that way. We're to be the light of the world. Obviously, if it's a dark place and you bring light into it, it should be have a powerful impact. And that, as Christians, we should have that impact on people around us. We want to be salt and light. And then Jesus went on to say that he fulfills the law. They often accused him of, hanging out with people who didn't keep the law, but Jesus kept the law 100%. And he came to fulfill the law, the whole book. God's word is good. And Jesus just is affirming that he came to fulfill it. He's the only one who has ever kept all of God's commands. All right. We can't do it. We've talked about that before, but Jesus could. And then it goes on to some other teachings, which we covered when we were in the 10 Commandments, murder and adultery. And it's beyond just the actual acts, but Jesus talked about how it's a condition of our heart. Like murder, he coordinates with hatred. And then adultery is not actually just getting involved in adultery, but thinking it too. So we're getting beyond just the physical, the outside. God is interested in our hearts and in our minds. All right, that's real important. And then we get into marriage, and Jesus wants, once we are in marriage, he wants us to stay married. Doesn't mean that if we end up divorced for some reason that God will not forgive us or restore us, but his ideal and the best is when we get married, we're married to somebody for life. And then Jesus said, kind of let your yes be yes and your no be no's. We don't have to go around making promises. I don't know if you ever hear people say, I swear this, or I promise on the Bible, or however you articulate that. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Be a person of your word. And then we kind of move on to, this is the passage we want to look at. And starting at I'll bring the verse up here. 43, I'll read this passage, and see if I can find it over here. I should have a slide for it. Give me 1 second. Okay, so that will be our main verse right there, and we'll get to it. I'll read a couple verses around it. Let me switch over to that. That's showing up. I think you guys can see that. Yeah, you can see that over me. So he says, starting at verse 43, you have heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemy, bless those who curse you, do good to those who hate you, and pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you, that you may be sons, now it says sons, but sons and daughters of your Father in heaven, for he makes his sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and the unjust. For if you love those who love you, what reward have you? Do not even the tax collectors do the same? And if you greet your brethren only, what do you do more than others? Do not even the tax collectors do so? Therefore, you shall be perfect, just as your Father in heaven is perfect. And again, going back to verse 44, our focus there is, you have heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, do good to those who hate you, and pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you. So, in this situation, let me go and take that off. Jesus is thinking a lot different than we think, right? At the beginning of that section, he said, normally it's an eye for an eye or tooth for tooth. Our natural reaction is that we want to get even with people, right? But Jesus says, no, that's not how we're to do things. We're not to be people who are trying to get even or get back at people. What do we do? What does Jesus say to do? Here he said, respond in love and kindness. He says, pray for people. What else does he say? He says, bless them. Bless those who curse you. Is all this easy to do? Bless those who curse you. Do good to those who hate you. Pray for those who use you or mistreat you. And this is not something that naturally comes to us, right? But if you have somebody who's really troubling you and giving you a hard time, if you just show them kindness and God's love, they're not going to know how to respond. It's kind of like killing them with God's love, right? You're getting even with them. They're not going to know how to respond. It's when we fight back, when we agitate, when we get upset and we compound things and things get worse and worse and worse. That's not part of God's kingdom. That's not what God would have us to do. So here he says, to love them, bless them. And then this is really key, I think, to me. I always think of this passage is to pray for people. If you really want to have your heart changed towards how you think of another person, start praying for them. It really, really, really will start to change your heart towards them. Maybe somebody who has hurt you. Maybe it was somebody who didn't keep a promise to you. You know, we had just talked about that. Keep your word. They didn't keep their word to you. Maybe they damaged your life somehow. Maybe they're troubling you right now. Maybe it's somebody at work or school or a family member. You know how crazy things can get. Well, start praying for them. You know what? God can change them. You know, that will be between them and God. But you know what's more importantly, God will change me, and God will start to change you too. And he'll change our hearts towards people. There's just something about it when we pray for people that we can't really stay angry or upset with them. We're not going to really want to be trying to get even with them. We're going to be wanting to try to restore things, make things right. And you know what? When we try to do that, when we become the peacemakers, when we are working to better our relationships, these are the kind of things that God would have us to do. This makes us real sons and daughters of our Father in heaven. And it says, you know, right there at the end, it says, if the word perfect there is, I think it's like kind of like the word complete. We're not going to be perfect like God is in heaven, right? But we're going to be becoming more and more like him. And that is the whole goal. Now, can we do this by ourselves? No. This is one of those things where we come back to, we can't do these things in and of ourselves, right? We don't have the power to do it. But it is our responsibility to try to make that effort. God is calling us to be different. We just talked about earlier in this passage, to be the light of the world, right? Sometimes the world seems kind of dark around us, but if we could be the light, if we could be these kind of people who bless and love and pray and be different than the rest of the world, we can make a difference in this world. And then the key as we're praying is we ask God to help us to be these kind of people. And we can just ask God naturally, God, I can't do this by myself. Can you show me how to love this person? I kind of think this person is my enemy, but I don't want them to be my enemy. Show me how I can do good towards them. God will definitely help us. He'll come through on that. So that will be our challenge. If we can live out this verse, we can further God's kingdom. We'll be really connected with God, and we'll make a difference in the lives of other people as well. All right. So that is our passage for today. If you want to read on, I really, if you haven't read Matthew chapter 5, I highly recommend that you go through the whole chapter 5. You can read it in 2 minutes or something. And then for next week, we'll go on to Matthew chapter 6, which is more teaching on the Sermon on the Mount. It's awesome. This whole teaching, again, it's just God seeing things in a lot different way than we see them, right? And it's important that we see more of an eternal perspective, right? Look outside of this world and look out beyond ourselves. These are all super important things that we can do. And okay, I will wrap it up there. So if you want to read ahead, keep going on to Matthew chapter 6. And if you didn't read 5 yet, catch up on that. And that is it for me today. We will be on Thursday night. There's going to be a special episode. Stephanie's going to debut the HSN items. You'll be able to see those. I think she's going to demo them as well. I'm not 100% sure about that. But that will be at our time on where we normally do the crafting corner. This will be our HSN kind of reveal debut night. So we're looking forward to that. Okay, that'll be Thursday. We'll be on YouTube, Facebook, and should be on Instagram. 5 p.m. on Pacific, 8 p.m. if you're on the East Coast. That's Thursday night. Again, we have a big weekend coming up. Just keep checking in on our Facebook page or our website. You'll get all kinds of notifications. If you check your email, if you're not on our email list, sign up for the newsletter. When you do that, you get also a $5 coupon from the Stamps of Life website. There's a way to sign up to get text, so you can get text messages when new items come out, or Stephanie has an update. Sometimes she'll send you a text. So those are all things you can do on the website. But in the meantime, I want you to have a great and wonderful day. I hope that God blesses each and every one of you and your friends and your family, and just does a powerful and amazing work in your life. He wants to. And I hope that happens for each of you too. It's wonderful when we can see how God blesses us and takes care of us and does these good things for us. All right. Okay. I am going to check out, and then I will see you next week Yeah, next week I'm okay. In a couple weeks, I might have jury duty, so I'm not sure how that's going to turn out, but we'll figure that out as we get closer, all right? Take care. God bless you all. Have a wonderful day. Thanks again for joining me, all right? Get out, get those stamps and dies out, start making some cards. Take care. Bye-bye.